Valika is a harsh and inhospitable landscape with freezing temperatures and elemental monsters. Often the only way to survive in Valika is to raid your neighbors and take their resources so that you can last through the winter. Ghostfire Gaming's latest 5e supplement, Raider's Guide to Valika, introduces new raiding mechanics that will integrate seamlessly into your 5e campaign. They are easy for the GM to introduce and quick for the players to learn, and you can think of them almost like a new type of combat encounter. And today we're going to show you exactly how they work. My name is Ben Byrne, and it's time to strike out for loot and glory. Leading our raiding parties are Matt and Miek. Matt, why don't you tell us about your Valikan raider?
I'm playing Hurin, the warrior poet. So he's the kind of fella you wouldn't want to see on a dark alley or in your train carriage. He'd come sit down, you go, nah, I'm gonna go somewhere else. So he looks a little bit like Pete Davidson, very tall, is covered in kind of crappy, disconnected tattoos, but they're all really basic. Like they say, just mum, but in runic.
We also have Miek. Miek, who are you playing today?
I'm today playing a Thorn Gadril half giant. A little bit more grounded, I think, than our warrior poet. Definitely here in Team Ragval. Everything they do is for country and for resources and for the betterment of their people and making sure that everyone is looked after and done with the righteousness. Okay, perfect. I feel like we've turned into sports commentators suddenly. How are we feeling about the raid today? How do we think it's going to go?
I'm feeling pretty confident, but also I don't know what I'm doing. So that confidence based on nothing.
All right, well, I promised that these were easy to learn, so I will demonstrate just how straightforward that they can be. So your raiding party has arrived on the outskirts of a town in Nordenland, which is called Kirkbridge, and it crosses the Kirk Run River, where the town gets its name. The town is enclosed by high stone walls, which have stood for quite a while. However, the surrounding trees of the forest press very close against the walls of Kirkbridge. The town is constantly fighting to stop the forest from consuming it entirely. Kirkbridge's walls are visibly crumbling, and in two places, to the east and the west sides of the village, the walls have crumbled entirely, and the trees have kind of grown into these gaps like sentinels invading the town. You suspect that once you get inside the villagers themselves won't be too difficult for your raiders to subdue. From there, your ultimate prize is St. Hermia's Cathedral, which is on the southern corner of the town, but kind of protected by a couple of walls. You can see its towers rising above the city walls, and that is where you suspect the greatest riches of this raid will be found, where you can plunder them from the altar of their pitiful arch-seraphs that they worship.
Okay.
So you are in command of 75 raiders. However, you might want to leave a small detachment of them to guard your longships. Do you wish to do that?
To like watch the car?
Pretty much, yeah.
How many would we need to leave?
Kirkbridge with its high walls definitely seems like it would be difficult to breach, so you want to take a good fighting force. You got 75, like I said.
Yep.
You probably wouldn't want to go at Kirkbridge with anything less than 50 raiders.
Okay.
So, 25 left at the boats, but you could probably leave less at the boats if you wanted to.
About 20?
20 feels good.
20 feels good because that's still over 50. And I feel like as well, I'm looking at this map and seeing the river, and I'm assuming that our boat is connected to that.
Correct, yeah. Your longboats are currently stationed north of the river.
Yeah.
Can I ask
north of the town.
how many boats are there? Or how many boats are being watched by these 20 men?
About maybe 5 boats with 30,
That's 4 in each.
20.
That's fine. That's an even number. They can keep each other company, keep each other accountable.
Cool,
Yeah.
no problem.
I do this, I'm watching you. Watch our boats.
All right, with 60 raiders, you also have a handful of resources that will help you with this raid. You have 10 horses, which could be ridden by your raiders into combat, and they provide bonuses to you. But horses might not be so effective against individuals or defenders that are inside a fortified area.
Okay.
They also don't provide a bonus if you're fighting against mounted combatants, because the stakes even out, I suppose.
Yeah.
You have 20 tall shields that you could equip to 20 of your warriors to defend themselves, and these are particularly useful against archers.
Okay.
You also have a battering ram, which can be used against a fortified target, but once you use the battering ram, it is consumed. It'll probably almost certainly break against whatever you throw it against. And you also have 2 casks of Ghostfire. Ghostfire is a special concoction that actually ignites when water hits it. So you've got a little pouch of water strapped to the side of it. Ghostfire can be very effective at clearing out a strong point, but it will destroy any loot that you might be able to gain from that strong point because it basically burns out the whole area. So those are the resources you have. Question? Yep.
May I please imagine the Ghostfire as a red barrel?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Everyone lock that in.
Yeah, red. Everybody take the note. Ghostfire comes in a red barrel.
Good.
When beginning a raid, you will look at your map of the region and your players will see the conflict zones, the areas that they can attack when they want to commence the raid. The conflict zones represent strong points where the players can move their characters further through the raid, but it is also probably being defended in some fashion. So we have the southern conflict zone near where our raiders are currently watching the village, which is the southern gate. And we also have the conflict zones through the forest on the east and west side of the village. When the players decide which conflict zone they want to attack, they're going to roll 2d10, add the result together with a couple of bonuses depending on how many raiders they sent and what resources they used, and that decides whether or not they were successful at capturing that conflict zone. You could either choose to attack the southern gate directly and try to take it for yourselves, or you could try the subtler route and infiltrate through the forest that grows through the gap in the walls. However, your scout did note that the trees seem to move unnaturally. They move as if there's a breeze, but he doesn't feel any wind in the air, and so there could be something more supernatural happening here.
And he was sober.
He was, yes. Okay. Yeah. No, he'd sobered up since the voyage.
I know exactly. I feel like the gate is a bit basic. I feel like that's very expected. That's I think what that's what everyone does when they raid. I feel like we should mix it up. Again, you're right, I'm a druid. I feel connected to nature. I feel like it's also a little bit less risky, right? Like, because we could potentially just like sneak in there.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Do you want to commit any of your resources? So you know you need to throw in a minimum of 5 raiders to be able to sneak through the dark boughs of the forest. You can send in more raiders if you wish. And you can also use some of your other resources. Do you want to use Ghostfire to try to burn the forest down? Or do you want to send in your raiders mounted on horseback?
Oh, forest fire would be so great. Because we could just burn... Forest fires are great, right? I love starting any D&D game with just a good old massive fire.
And this fantasy world doesn't have global warming, so we're kind of in the clear morally.
Exactly. Although it kind of defeats the whole purpose of sneaking in, right? Like, if you sneak in with a giant fire, it's maybe not as subtle.
Yeah, I reckon horses.
I do want to use the horses.
They deserve to be included.
Exactly. They've worked hard. They're part of the team.
Okay, so you want to send in 10 raiders, 10 horses, all of them mounted?
Yeah, all the king's men, all the king's horses, all having a lovely time.
So you're sending 10 raiders in, which is double the minimum required, which gives you a +2 bonus on your 2d10 roll. And because they're all mounted, they gain an extra +2 bonus on the roll. So it's 2d10. Who would like to do the honors?
Or can we...
Teamwork.
Yeah, can we like...
We're a team.
Roll one each? Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay, here we go.
3, 2, 1.
All the way out of the tray.
It doesn't count if it's not in the tray.
Okay, what do we got? All right, 14 on the result, +4 from your 2 bonuses, the +2 for the double raiders and the +2 for the horses, gives you a 17, which is a success, but raiding is a violent business on both parts. And you discover sending your raiders in there that these trees are indeed supernatural, grabbing up some of your raiders, attacking them.
Just the raiders though.
Yeah, the horses,
just the raiders.
Horses are fine.
So you lose 25%. You lose 2 raiders.
Okay, expendable.
And 2 horses as a result.
What is this?
Do we get any bonuses because of Matt's dice parkour at the front?
Yeah.
I feel like that should get some
Style.
kind of,
Really, it inflicts penalties because the dice tray is sacred.
I'm going to have to write letters to these horses' parents.
Rip sprinkles and fairy floss.
After a conflict zone has been attacked, your party or your raiders regroup and you're able to send them out to attack the next conflict zones that have become available to you now that you've cleared yourself a bit of a path. You can split your raiders and attack multiple conflict zones at once, but then you're obviously splitting your forces and that might not always be the best idea. you've come in and you can see that now you're on the western side of the Kirkrun River. You have several new targets that you could choose to attack. To the north, you have the Finsterlog neighborhood. This shabby neighborhood is pressed tight against the outer wall, and it bears the scars of constant battle against the northern woodland kind of pressing in on it. To the north of that, you have the Flasafa market. I'm going to assume the pronunciation is. The market is by the riverside and it blocks access to the gate that covers the Kirkrun River. And you can see that a contingent of crossbow-touting armored warriors have barricaded themselves in this neighborhood, seeing you come into this area. You could attack them for resources, but they, the Fluffasa...
Go on.
The Flasafa market does allow you to get access to the Kirkrun River gate to open it and potentially let in your resources. You could attack the bridge over the Kirkrun River, and that is your quickest path to get to the cathedral, your ultimate goal. So do you want to spend some time raiding the broader village, or do you want to continue on a direct path?
Well, look, I know there's stuff in the village, right? And maybe some of that stuff will help us on our mission, but the mission is to get to the cathedral.
Yes.
But I am interested a little bit in like the gate. You said we open that up, then like our mates that are watching the boats.
Correct. You'd have to take the Flasafa market to be able to open the gate, which would be its own conflict zone afterwards.
The cathedral's over here. Correct. So we're going to cross the bridge.
Yeah.
That's we're going to have to do that.
Absolutely. I don't think we need to worry about Finsterlog. I think they're just making a nice little macchiato oat milk. That sounds like a hipster cafe. So I don't think we need to worry about that. But I think we definitely want this gate open because we want our boat to come in. We want our reinforcements. That's why we put them there.
I want my boys.
Yeah.
You do know, again, from your scout who was able to kind of scout the whole village, you do know that the Flasafa market has a minimum force requirement of 20 warriors because it's been reinforced.
Okay.
The bridge over the Kirkrun also has a minimum of 20 warriors because it is reinforced against you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So these are both pretty strong places to attack.
I'm confident in our Ragval power.
Yeah.
So we can split that 20-20. That still leaves us, 13 spare plus us.
Plus us. And we count for what, 40 each?
Yeah, exactly. In like chutzpah.
How do you feel if you had to pick bridge or gate?
I love splitting the party. I think splitting the party is always a great idea. It's always fun. Nothing bad ever happens. You just
20 at each.
20 each.
Okay, cool. So the final question I had before.
I'm sorry, can I ask a question? Which one? You said someone had bows.
Yeah, so the Flasafa market, which you're going to insist on making me say repeatedly, aren't you?
Yes, please.
That is where there are crossbowmen that have fortified themselves within the market. Possible bonuses there would be your horses or your tall shields.
Yeah, I was thinking the shields.
I can't take losing another horse.
The bridge over the Kirkrun River, which is also reinforced, you could use the tall shields, the horses, or because it's been reinforced with barricades, you could also use the battering ram to get yourself a bonus there. Or of course, you could always pull out the Drakefire.
Yeah, that does sound like a war crime.
I think the tall shields over here make sense.
Yeah, in the market.
Yep. I agree about maybe the horse. I feel like the horses now, I feel a personal connection to them. Maybe we just have one each that we're now just riding.
Yeah.
And the rest are just trailing behind us. I don't want to put them in the combat. I think the battering ram on the bridge could be good though.
You don't want to save it for the cathedral? No, we got to get across the bridge.
By then, they're just going to concede by the time we cross this, right? That's how this works.
Yeah.
Once you've just done enough, they just go, just have it.
I mean, possibly. There are definitely changing circumstances.
Oh, really? Amazing. See, if you just go with confidence.
So there is a time kind of consideration to take into here.
Okay, well, let's lock it in then. Let's go 20 in the market with the shields.
Yeah.
And 20 on the bridge with the battering ram. You wanted the split.
I do. No, I think battery. Let's do it. What's the worst case?
All right, not a problem. Let us roll against the Flasafa market. First, you put 20 warriors, which is the minimum.
Yep.
And they all have shields because you have 20 shields.
Yes.
So you get a +2 bonus for all the shields.
Yes.
Right.
Make a roll.
Okay.
What's our target number?
20. Oh, is it? Oh, 10. Oh, I thought it was 20.
Well,
Don't forget to mention that.
we can't lose.
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
14 plus 2 is 16. So you've beaten the DC by 6, which means you have victory with minimal losses. 10% of assigned raiders lost, which because you assigned 20 raiders is 2 raiders again.
Okay.
Excellent.
And, actually no, that is halved because you used the tall shields against the archers. So you only lose 1 raider.
Excellent.
I mean, sad, like, don't get me wrong, sad, but yay.
Sad? Well, not a horse, you know?
No, it's not a horse. That's indeed correct.
My conscience is clear.
Against the bridge, you have a much higher DC here.
Is this the 20?
20 warriors is required. The DC is 18, but you have a +4 because you're using the battering ram against it.
Why do you look so confident?
Because
If you fail,
confident.
you could choose to use the Drake fire against.
Oh, like after the fact.
Yeah, you're like...
In the story, that's like, guys, you're going to charge across this bridge, but I want to let you know we have put charges underneath the bridge.
We've got a plan B.
Good luck.
Yeah, potentially.
3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
Okay, an 8 and a 6 is a 14.
Yes.
+4
Yes.
is the DC.
30.
Which is 18. So you do succeed. However, this is a Pyrrhic victory. You lose 50% of the raiders. It is very hard fought to take the bridge.
That's 10 people lost.
10 people lost, bringing you down to 42 raiders remaining.
Oh, man.
I just want to
day.
remember how well our other battle went, though. Can we just, let's take a moment to remember that battle immensely well.
We can put a spin on it.
Yeah.
And also, I think, can we retcon to say that we didn't tell these raiders that we put a depth charge underneath the bridge and we're prepared to blow them up?
Yes.
'Cause I think that might hurt morale.
So now that the village is becoming aware that there are raiders inside, the Valikans have arrived, people are starting to panic and riots are starting to break out in the neighborhoods, the sort of non-military areas where people are running around not sure what to do. This means that it's going to be harder to capture those areas, and the raid DC is increased by 1 for any non-reinforced neighborhood type area.
Okay.
Now that you've gained access to the eastern side of Kirkbridge, there's a lot of targets that you could potentially go after, but as we've learned, splitting your forces, especially against hardened targets, may not be the greatest idea in the world. However, let me highlight the targets that you do have. Currently, you could attack directly the river gate on the north side of the village. From your earlier kind of spying on this area, you'd only need a minimum of 5 warriors to be able to do it. It does have a fairly high rating roll DC of 16, but you can commit less warriors to take it and get higher bonuses because its minimum is lower, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could also decide if you want to go straight for the cathedral, which is your ultimate target, to attack the Cazamat walled neighborhood to the south of the village. It has a minimum force of 20 warriors and a DC of 14 because it is a kind of an inner wall inside the village, so it would be a more reinforced area. And then you also have Zaflucht neighborhood. I'm not making that name up.
All right.
No, do it. You're nailing it.
Now keep going.
Which has is kind of a reinforced marketplace, not dissimilar to the one that you took earlier.
What was that one called?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, can you my notes aren't clear.
It was the Flassafa
Perfect.
neighborhood,
Thank you.
as opposed to the Zaflucht neighborhood.
Thank you so much, Gian.
Or the Zittern neighborhood is also on the northeastern side of the village. This one looks like it's in shambles at the moment. It only requires a minimum of 10 warriors, and the raiding DC is only 12.
Sounds like it's asking for a raid.
Yeah, we're 12, you can't afford not to raid it.
You have 42 warriors left currently inside of Kirkbridge. How many would you like to commit where?
Okay, question. If we get this bridge, how does it work in terms of time? If we get this bridge open, can we bring in our reinforcements to help us with, for example, this gate down here?
Absolutely. So essentially,
So if we do it in order.
think of each round like in a traditional initiative order in a 5e combat on the grid or Theater of the Mind. Every round takes 6 seconds, right?
Yes.
Every round in a raid takes an hour.
Oh.
So that's like, it's
okay.
you know, these places are not easy to conquer. It might take time to get through the forest or conquer the wall. So that's why you get all your warriors back, is because they're not necessarily splitting up and running off. They're attacking and then regrouping before you command them where to attack next.
Dude, that's so cool. I got a little bit of chills because I'm thinking, if this is just a quick thing that we've done, but our character's been doing this for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like they're probably wrecked at this moment.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Might need to bring in some reinforcement.
All right. Well, I think then we definitely have to go, obviously.
Gate.
Yeah, we need to do
yeah.
the gate and get that open and get our friends in because we are running not low on people.
Yeah. 42? That's all right.
Yeah. Although we've got 20 on the boat, so we've got.
Let's get the gate and find out.
Minimum force required is 5 warriors. How many would you like to commit? You can commit more than double.
What?
So if you commit 15 warriors, which is double twice, you get 50% twice, I suppose.
Yeah.
You get a +4 bonus. So that +2 bonus for the number of warriors you commit stacks.
Well, I think we need to do it.
Sure, I do want to send 15.
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. Because we need that. We need that to get into there.
Do you want to? You've still got quite a number of raiders left. Do you want to send them anywhere else?
Yeah. What about that easy to raid place?
Yeah, I think the little open market that just has a little sign saying "Please raid me."
Yeah, I bet the doors are unlocked.
Yeah.
You know?
They are now because everybody's panicking.
The keys under the doormat.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has a minimum of 10 warriors, and its raiding roll DC was 12, but it's bumped to 13 because everybody's panicking and running around now.
Well, it's
15? Then we do 15, 15, 15?
15, 15?
So you don't get a bonus unless you double the minimum.
Oh, let's go 15, 20.
15, yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. For a total of 35? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Not a problem. Warriors being committed.
We're chanting like, let's go, Ragval, let's go.
All right, now any resources you want to commit. The marketplace might be a great place to send in some more horses.
I don't know if I have the emotional fortitude.
That's fine if you don't want to send in more horses. You also don't have enough horses now to make up half of
Whose
20.
fault is that, Ben?
Yours, the forests.
I'm blaming you.
All right, or
And I'm
you
assuming we
could-
don't want to burn it down in case.
Well,
You
we'll
might
burn
lose
something.
any resources.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And we've got to sail boats through that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're insured.
Yeah, you could try to burn down the river gate. Might not be a bad idea, but you wouldn't want to burn the neighborhood because you'll burn any resources you might.
I think maybe we save it for an end of a victory
Yeah,
celebration,
yeah,
like a kind of
fireworks.
bonfire. Exactly,
Yeah.
bonfire fireworks, the end of
Shields.
battle.
Yeah, let's send the shields.
Whereas are they only good against arrows or are they good against
They're
everything?
good against everything, but they're super good against arrows because they reduce how many people die.
Yeah.
I reckon we send the shields in for the gate because that's more important
that's what
to
I was
me.
thinking too. Yeah, and I just don't think we need it for the other village.
Yeah.
or not the village, the other area.
Yeah, they're not going to put up a fight. They're just going to give us their stuff.
Exactly.
Here's my iPad. Thank you.
So let's look to the river gate first. 2 stone towers loom over the Kirk Run River. Between them is a gate made of sharpened tree trunks lashed together. A complex system of pulleys and iron chains allow the gate to be raised and lowered to allow ships in and out of the town. From the towers, armored soldiers in imperial colors train their crossbows on you. 2d10 as normal, you have a +4 bonus for doubling the number or 50% of the warriors twice.
Yes.
And you have a +2 bonus for all of them having shields, so a +6 bonus on this roll.
Easy.
Can't be beat.
Easy. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. 13 on the dice and +6 brings it right up to a 19. The minimum required was a 16. So it is a hard won victory. You lose 25% of 15.
So, half of 15 is 7.5. Half of 7 is 3.5. So 3.75.
So, all right. So you lose 3, which is halved, to 2, which would be 1 because we're...
hey guys, if we keep saying numbers, I'm going to start panicking.
Okay, all right, cool. I'll be concise with this and we can get it on the recording. All right, so...
Maths.
Great.
Does that mean we also lost 1 shield?
Yes.
We can't get it?
No, because it's broken.
Because he fell on it. Now it's got some blood on it.
Exactly.
Icky.
Like, yeah, I don't want that.
No, thank you.
But you are now in command of the bridge.
Yes.
Nice.
You have sent 10 warriors against the neighborhood.
I almost feel bad doing this.
No equipment being used here.
No, in fact, we
We're going
leave some
raw.
equipment behind.
Okay, cool. You have a +2 bonus. Make a roll.
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, no, didn't happen. No,
We're all over the place.
I think we might have lost. No, we're fine. We're fine.
No, that's fine actually. It is still again hard fought as you go into
that's disappointing.
the village. Some
was
of
so confident.
the villagers do try to fight back against you. You do lose 25% of your force, which is 5 warriors.
Because we don't have anything. That's honestly disappointing. I really thought we had that.
Yeah.
I really thought we had that. I spoke that up. I'm going to apologize to a few of my raiders and say, look, that's on me. That one's, we were too confident.
Yeah. What do you mean we?
I was too confident.
There we go.
You have managed to capture Zittern neighborhood, however, which comes with some plunder. Whenever you capture a conflict zone while raiding, you will be able to gain plunder if there is some present in that location. For capturing Zittern neighborhood, you do lose a bit of it because of the hard-won victory. Some of the villagers were able to get away, but you get a total of 250 silver pieces.
Okay.
You get a total of 75 pounds of timber, and in one of these little huts, one of your raiders discovers and brings to you a +1 hand axe.
That's pretty good.
An old imperial heirloom, undoubtedly, that had been hidden until now.
That honestly, if they hadn't had this hand axe, we would have absolutely stomped them. It's the hand axe's fault. Yeah.
It was giving them luck or some kind of like extra. Does it feel magical? No, it's just.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a +1 hand axe.
Got it written on it.
Yeah. With the gate captured at the end of this round, your reinforcements are also able to arrive via the longships.
No, that means that they can join the fight?
Immediately, or at the start of the next round. Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Well done.
There is another development. You can see the Imperial guards along the walls are trying to rally to the militia's aid in the center of the village. However, they can see that the bridge has already been taken and that there's no strategic advantage in running down to reinforce the bridge at this point, and therefore they kind of panic and just stay where they are instead.
That's right.
What I'm getting at here is, had you waited 4 rounds to capture the bridge, it would have been a lot harder to because they would have reinforced it. So you can sort of see how moving through the raid and your decisions will impact how the raid pans out as the village reacts to you.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that we're like raid pros.
Super good at the game. It's a good thing we split the party rather than taking heaps of rounds to do lots of little things.
Splitting the party, always a good choice. That's my takeaway.
How many warriors have you got left?
I don't want to talk about it. Can we play the game, please?
We have 8 horses though. We have lost 0 more horses since the first battle.
Now you can see that you have a few unplundered neighborhoods which you might wish to attack to grab their loot before the raid is complete and the remaining villagers are able to flee or reinforcements arrive. Or before you're able to get to the St. Hermia's Cathedral itself, you do have one more barrier in your way, kind of on the southern side of the village here, which is the Casamat walled neighborhood. It's kind of like an inner wall, kind of protected area, a sturdy defensive wall, and oaken gates protect the wealthy neighborhood. Only a small detachment of Imperial soldiers defends it. Countless civilians, rich and poor alike, huddle within its walls. Those that were able to kind of escape into this area when they became aware that there was a raid happening, maybe when you were attacking the bridge.
Well, I think by now we've been going all day, right? If you said these were each an hour, this is like, we are wrecked. I think we just want, you want your art.
I want to get my art.
I just want a proper victory now. I can taste it. It's so close. I just want, I'm a completionist.
What does victory taste like?
Deliciousness, like fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Your battering ram or your tool shields could come in use here, although the battering ram was consumed.
Used it.
It was destroyed in the hard fighting on the bridge. Very well. You have a minimum.
We didn't use the battering ram on the bridge.
Did we? I think we did.
Did we?
Yeah, you gained the +4 bonus.
Because it was going to be really hard.
I'm not paying attention.
That's all right. There's a minimum force requirement of 20 warriors.
Okay.
And the raiding DC is 14. What would you like to do?
Okay, I'm not a big strategist, but I'm going to approach this like a musical theatre production. This is where this is the last song, you put the whole cast on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Everyone gets their time to shine. It's the final number, all in.
That's it. The thing, if you're lip syncing for your life, you got to do a shablam. You know. Now, when we shablam, should we also kablam, or not?
We could just go all in. I feel like it's that room with the poker chips, and we're just sliding them across the table.
Everyone in.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
It's a real team building moment.
Yeah.
And we don't want to blow it up. We don't need to.
No, and it's too close to the art, I feel. I'm a little bit worried.
I don't want to
about.
burn the art. Art hates fire.
Yeah.
Just remember, so with your 56 warriors now, remaining warriors now that you've been reinforced, you won't get, because 20 warriors is the minimum requirement, you can commit 40 and get your +2 bonus, but because you can't get double again, you don't have to commit them all, which you might choose not to, because then you're risking them to losing them in the conflict.
I don't want to exclude anybody.
Exactly. I feel like at this moment, it's more of it's a team.
Yeah,
This
is the we are the kin of the Valikan clans.
Yes.
Let's get them, like war cry.
Yeah, this is like a collaborative team building exercise now. We're all going to come together. We do all hands in.
All hands in and
like
horse.
everyone's in a circle doing a team huddle.
Yeah.
Not a problem. All right, make a rating roll for me. As we
All right, this is it.
It's been an honor fighting alongside you.
We've got this. 3, 2, 1.
Nope.
With a 15, that's not too bad. 17 after your bonus for doubling them means that you are able to take it. It is again a hard-fought victory, as raids always are. 25% of 56 is going to be
56, so that's 28, sorry, so 14.
So 14 warriors are lost, bringing us down to 42 remaining, but you are able to capture the neighborhood. You are also able to take quite a lot of loot here. There is 1,250 silver.
Oh.
There is 100 gold pieces worth of art and jewelry.
Oh, beautiful. What is some of the art? Is this from the cathedral or is this?
You're not inside the cathedral yet. This is more like Burakian imperial art.
Yeah.
Some of it is very religious, showing the arc seraphs.
It's a little bit derivative.
Yeah, it's very basic. We're used to more high-end things in Redfall.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like it's got to use a lot of bones and blood and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, no problem. You also managed to get a chest of fine silks and regal clothing that will make you very popular when you return to Ragval village. You will feel like nobles upon your return.
Cool. I'm immediately going to take out one silks and pop it around the horse that I think has worked the hardest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tradition.
Okay, it's a tradition.
It's the MVP horse.
MVP.
Great, love
and in
it.
fact, after the raid, can we have like a player of the match, player of the game kind of cutscene of the horse just doing nothing?
Just standing in the forest,
Not
like
being killed.
his rider's like been killed, but he's just fine, like hanging out there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Poggers.
The climax of most raids, if the raiding has been successful, is to attack the stronghold of the settlement, which is where the player characters take direct command and lead from the front once again. So you have managed to capture much of Kirkbridge village, and now you stand before the cathedral. Your raiders burst into the gates of the church courtyard, and they immediately wheel about to repel an attack from the Kirkbridge militia. Their foes are fast and fierce and much better trained than the villagers outside. Time will be short here. In the church courtyard before you stand 2 knights in polished Buraki armor. The knights wear no helmets, revealing their dirtless, clean-shaven faces, similar enough that the knights could be brothers. "Hold, heathens!" one bellows, pointing their broadsword directly towards you. "Only over my corpse will you defile this holy place. Turn back and accept your eternal torment." Roll for initiative. Now that the stronghold is breached, a combat encounter erupts where the player characters personally storm the stronghold to defeat its most powerful defenders. If you love what you're seeing, you can back the Valikan clan's Kickstarter right now by hitting this link here or the one that's down in the description. And there are added layers to the raiding system that we didn't even cover yet, like scouting ahead or special NPC raiders that can lead your warriors. The Raider's Guide to Valika also gives you the tools to build your own raids, which could be reimagined as attacking a city filled with vampires in Astoria, liberating a town from the Arcanist Inquisition, or unleashing your own undead army to seize a foe's stronghold. Go check out the Kickstarter page to get all of these mechanics, or you can check out this video if you want to see more of what Grim Hollow Valikan clans can add to your tabletop RPG campaign.